Hello, in this tutorial we will be looking at design tables, how to create and edit design tables inside of a SolidWorks part. So to begin, we're going to go here and create a new part. And once we get to this screen, we'll just create a sketch. Let's say on the front plane here, we'll do just a standard cube. So let's say maybe 5 by 3, and you can do whatever you want. And go ahead and extrude that, and we'll say a thickness of about 2 millimeters here. And now we have our basic cube. We can go ahead and create our design table. So to create a design table, you go to Insert and Tables, and right here is Design Table. You have 3 standard sources. You can create a blank design table, and auto create, which will bring up suggested sketch entities that you've created, and you can also create from a file that you already have. So we will do auto create, and this is what you'll most likely use normally. So just click the check mark to start that. It'll bring in suggested features, so we have sketch dimensions and a boss thickness for our extrude. And just click OK on that, and you can click out of here to exit. But you can see here it's just basically we've gone into an Excel sheet. You've got all your Excel tabs up here. You can change colors and do everything you would be able to normally do in Excel. And to get out of this table, we can just click out anywhere in the space. It says no design table instances were found. That's because we didn't click any of those dimensions. But what we actually want to do is change the names of these to make it easier to read and determine what we're changing in the design table. So let's actually delete this design table that we created, and you can just right click design table there and just click yes to delete. And now if we want to change the names, if we actually go into edit sketch here, and we can select one of these, just double click it to select the sketch, and we want to just change the name here to maybe height. So we can change it to height, and then we can go into this one and maybe call it width. So let's call that width, and then we can click the check mark, and then we can actually change the name of the sketch. So we can just call this cube sketch, and then we can get out of the sketch. And then for the thickness, if you double click on the boss extrude, and we see the thickness here as 2 millimeters. So if we double click that, we can actually change that as well to thickness, and then click the check mark to get out of that, and we'll click the street light there, and we can also change the name of this to cube. So now we've got everything renamed, the extrude, the sketch, and all of the dimensions. So now when we go into insert and we want to insert our design table, we click auto create again, and now we can see width, height, and thickness of the sketch and of the cube. And so to insert these, just click each one, hold control while you do so, and you can select them all and just click OK. And now we can see that we've actually got all these parameters in here. So we have the default cube, and we've got width, height, and thickness parameters. And now we can actually go into adding new configurations. So let's just go in here and add maybe config 1. And let's just say 7, 10, and maybe a thickness of 5. And we can keep going. Maybe we can do config 2, and let's say we could do 11, we can do 13, and we can do 1. So now we have 2 different configurations as well as the default configuration. And we can click out of that, and it'll say we've got new configurations here from the design table 1 and 2. And to look at these configurations, just go over to the configuration tab here, and you can just double click each one, and when you double click it you can see the part changes. So we've got all these different configurations we can set up. So we've got configuration 2, 1, and the default, and rebuild. And that is how you create and edit a design table. The next part of the design table tutorial is adding new dimensions from new features to an existing design table. So I've got a new hole that I've added to the existing cube that we created earlier, and this hole is about 1 millimeter in diameter, and I want to be able to change that diameter for each of the configurations that we created in our design table earlier. So to add this to the existing design table, we're going to the configuration tab and going to right click design table and edit table, and we see the current design table that we had created. And to add this diameter, we're going to go to the design tree, and we can see the hole that I've added. We just have to click on that sketch and just click on the dimension once is all it needs. As long as you're on that cell, you can see it automatically added that diameter, and we just click OK on that. And let's say you're going through here and you accidentally double click something like the cube, and you'll see unsuppressed and all this information you don't want. All you need to do is click on that column, right click, and just delete that. So we do have this diameter that we've added from the sketch, and we have these configurations, and we want to add them, add this hole to the configurations. All we need to do is add values, so we'll say maybe 3 and 5 here, and again just click out and it'll save automatically. And now if we go to the configurations, we double click it, and we don't see the hole immediately. What we need to do is go to the design tree, and we can see the holes there, but it has been suppressed. So we just right click it and click unsuppress, and now we see the hole there, and we see it's 3 millimeters in diameter, which is what we selected. Now if we go to configuration 2, it's the same deal. Just go right click and unsuppress, and we can see a hole of 5 millimeters here. And if we go back into the design table real quick, and we can see where it added this diameter, if we wanted to, we could by hand write in the name of this diameter at hole sketch, but it's much easier to just go to the design tree and click on the dimension. It's much easier and faster that way.